So you have started preparing for your higher studies application and everybody tells you that you need a good profile. But nobody tells you what this good profile is. Well, don't worry, because in this video, I'll help you decode what this phrase means and how you can have a good profile. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief overview of all the components that make your profile good. But since we want to discuss each of these components in detail, I'll be making a separate video about each of them in the future. If you are already here, consider subscribing to my channel to know when these videos are uploaded. When you apply to a university, they care about just one thing. Yes, they care about only one thing, and that is your ability to succeed in that program. Now, none of us can see the future, so we do not know if you will actually succeed in a program or not. But we have certain factors that we can use as a proxy to determine what your success is going to look like in a particular program. These factors include your academic records, your SOP, your LORs, your GPA, your projects, your research experience, and your coursework. Apart from all of these factors, there is one additional thing that programs look for in their prospective students. That is how well the goals of a program align with the goals of a student. A lot of students think that your GRE score is going to be a major component of your applications. This is not true. One thing that I keep talking about in my videos again and again and again is the fact that GRE is not an indicator of your success in a program. GRE is merely a filter. If you think about it, GRE is basic math and English. How can this correlate with your success in an advanced degree? Let's say MS in CS. A study found mostly weak or negative correlations between the scores of the GRE and indices of success in graduate school. You can read the full story in the link below. So you will ask me, Akash, but why do we need GRE then? Well, GRE helps universities shorten their lists. Every year, thousands of students apply to universities in the US, and GRE scores help them shorten the list and only take or look at the applications of serious candidates. This means that they can put their threshold anywhere, say 312, 315, 318, and they filter out everybody below that, and they look at the profiles of everybody above that. Some universities can also filter separately on the basis of your verbal and quant, but that is a separate issue. All in all, if you have a GRE score about 320, 318, 315, I don't think you should worry about it much, and your time would be better spent focusing on other aspects of your profile than trying to get the GRE again and improving your score. Now, coming to your GPA. Again, this varies a lot, and this varies so much that universities cannot use this as an absolute value. They can only use this as an indicator. Why, you ask? This is because different universities grade their students differently. In some universities, it's very easy to get a 9 on 10, whereas in other universities, getting a 7.5 out of 10 is considered amazing. So you cannot compare, say example, a 8 out of 10 in an IIT to a 9 out of 10 in some no-name university, because you know that in an IIT, the academic curriculum is more rigorous than some no-name university. And that is why you cannot just take two GPA values from two different universities and compare them together. You can just use them as an indicator. So what does your GPA indicate? Well, for starters, it indicates how committed and sincere you are towards your academic goals. And since an MS or a PhD, both of these are academic degrees, this shows how sincere you are or you are going to be in those curriculum or in those programs. Now let us talk about your projects. When you read someone's CV, how do you verify that whatever they have put in their CV is legit and they are not overclaiming? And this happens a lot. A lot of people do something very simple, but then on their CVs, they put it as if they have created the next big thing in the world. And this overclaim is a huge problem for people who read CVs on a daily basis. So how do you determine whatever somebody is putting on their CV is actually legit? Well, there are two ways to do this. The first one is you interview the candidate, you cross-question them about their projects, and you determine if you feel like the person actually did the work. In the second case, you can actually go to the GitHub links or some other code repository links that this candidate has provided, and you can go there, you can read through the code, and you can verify if the work done by that candidate is actually legitimate or not. Now, both of these things are really time consuming. In the first case, you will need to interview every candidate individually, And in the second case, you would need to actually go through and browse through all these different design files, coding files, etc., and find out if whatever the candidate is claiming is actually legitimate. So this is why I suggest students to not lie about their projects on their resumes and their CVs. Trust me, the readers are reading these applications for several decades now. This is their full-time job. And if you lie, it's very easy for them to catch you, and this will have a negative effect on your evaluation. So please be honest about your projects on your resume and your CV. If you have done good work, you don't need to lie about it. You are going to get into the program no matter what. So just trust me, do not lie about this. And this is where your research publications come into effect. This is why research publications are important. So what happens in a research publication? You write a paper, this paper gets peer reviewed by experts in that area. These experts also verify the novelty of your work and also verify the technical correctness of your work. And since you are submitting this work, it also shows that this is your original work. And in this case, essentially what the readers think is that they read your application and they know that since you have published in a good reputable conference or a journal, they can rest assured that whatever you are claiming is actually legit. And this is why research publications will always have a more positive impact on your profile than a project. Now let's talk about your statement of purpose, also known as your SOP. Your SOP is the only chance you get to talk to the admissions committee. Everything else is very objective, whereas an SOP is subjective and it gives you an opportunity to tell your story. So make sure that your SOP actually tells your story. It tells about your experiences, what you learned, and what your goals in life are. A lot of students are tempted to copy and paste their SOP from the internet. I know this is very easy and convenient for most of you, but just think about it. Since you are copying from a particular source, so are thousands of other people from around the globe. Now, how will your SOP stand out from others if your content is similar to thousands of other SOPs out there? As a result, what I suggest is first you sit down, write your own SOP, and then look at other sources online to further mold your SOP in a certain direction. Do not just copy other SOPs off of the internet, and trust yourself. I will be doing an SOP writing session pretty soon before the fall 2021 applications deadline, so make sure you subscribe to my channel so you know when that session is actually happening. Finally, your LORs. Your LORs actually convey the opinion of your academic advisors about you. These help universities verify that the claims that you have made in previous parts of your applications are actually indeed true. So please make sure whoever you're asking to write your LOR is going to write a very strong LOR that is going to support your case. In a lot of cases, what happens is that students get a generic LOR and which affects their application negatively. So make sure whoever you're asking for your LOR is actually someone who's going to give you a strong or at least an above average LOR and not like something which is very generic. Since I don't want to make a very long video, I will be making separate video about each thing that I have discussed in this particular video, and I'm going to give them a very detailed analysis. So make sure you are subscribed to this channel so you know when those videos are out. As always, thank you so much for watching and see you next time.